Here on Good Morning Kansas, an advisory partially lifted for some people here in Cakeland. Story breaking overnight on the boil water advisory for people here in the Wichita area. We'll share you where it is safe to drink your water.
I hope the city water system is safe for everyone to use and we can just go about our normal business.
Also, as we get back to business, what you need to do at home, steps that you do need to take to make sure that you and your loved ones are safe. We have those details as Good Morning Kansas continues now.
Now live from the Cake Studios, this is Good Morning Kansas.
Thank you for joining us. It's 8 o'clock and it is Saturday, and we start with breaking news. A boil water advisory has been lifted for the city of Wichita after a water main break this week. However, the boil water advisory does remain in place for some of our surrounding communities. So the city of Wichita, they're planning to brief us in just a moment, and we'll take that live here as we get the information from the city. But this is what we know from the Kansas Department of Health and Environment. It is telling us this morning that it has rescinded the boil water advisory for Wichita's public water supply. So that means that things are lifted for Wichita and over in Eastboro, and the same is for residents over in Mays who get their water from Wichita. A breakdown of everything. So the problem started with this water main break on Thursday. This water main, as you see here, we're getting close to it from our Skycam footage. Sky 10 bringing us this view. You see that hole in the ground? That's where it took place. That's where a 42-inch pipe broke near I-135 and 17th Street. Crews have been working around the clock to fix that problem, and it has affected many communities right in our area. Now, the advisory was issued because there was a loss of pressure in the distribution system, and the concern was that failure to maintain adequate pressure may result in a loss of chlorine residuals and bacterial contamination. So this is what we know as for people who do have an advisory right now. So Wichita, you're okay. Some areas are okay. These are the people who need to continue to boil their water. So the KDHE sharing this information, saying that wholesale customers for Wichita and Sedgwick County will continue to need to boil their water. And that includes rural water districts 1, 2, and 3. The cities of Benton, Rose Hill, Derby with El Paso Water Company, Keachai, Valley Center, and McConnell Air Force Base. So if you're in those areas, you need to continue to boil that water. So public water suppliers in Kansas, they've taken all measures necessary to notify customers quickly after a system failure or shutdown. Regardless of whether it's supplier or KDHE that announces the boil water advisory, KDHE has issued everything to rescind an order for the communities that we've talked about here in Wichita. Some communities in the Wichita area are okay, and they rescinded it because lab tests say that everything is fine. There's no evidence of bacteriological contamination. Now, in addition to that, they've looked into other things, other parameters that the KDHE has, and they say that all risk of contamination, all the concerns they had, they are deemed to be okay. Everything is resolved. Why don't we go ahead right now? We're getting a live update from the city of Wichita downtown, giving us information that we need to know this hour. Let's take a look in.
And the city recommends the following precaution measures. First, all Wichita water customers flush their systems by turning their faucets on for 10 to 15 minutes. And second, for automatic ice makers, please dispose of any of the ice that the cycle in the ice maker might have produced during the time in which we had our boil order. The boil advisory was initially issued on late Thursday afternoon because of the loss of pressure in the system caused by a water line break. We want to thank the community for their patience and perseverance, and our hardworking public works and utilities crews who continue to work with contractors to fix the line break and to bring it back into full service. Here to tell us more is Don Henry, Assistant Director to Public Works and Utilities. Don?
Thank you, Mayor. Again, my name is Don Henry. I'm the Assistant Director of Public Works and Utilities for the city. City staff worked very closely with KDHE through the night to review the water sample tests that were run for bacteria. And as a result of that, KDHE has rescinded the boil order. We're very happy to say that KDHE has been a good partner, as well as our wholesale partners and others in this endeavor, and we're able to make this announcement at this time. At around 2:45 on Thursday afternoon, staff in KDHE determined that testing was needed to ensure that the low pressure caused by the line break near 18th and I-135, that did not result in a loss of any chlorine residuals in the system, or that no bacteria contamination happened as a result. And laboratory testing of 179 samples that were collected from the city's distribution system by staff indicated no evidence of bacteria, and that all of the other conditions that place the system at risk of contamination during this event have deemed to be resolved by KDHE. City staff sampled the water system for chlorine residuals and bacteria throughout the afternoon and night on Thursday, October the 7th. After the required incubation period of 24 hours for those bacteria tests, results were reviewed by city staff and KDHE between midnight and 12:30 this morning. And then based upon those results, KDHE immediately issued their release to rescind the order, and then immediately following that, the city made our customers aware of the same. It's very important to understand that the boil advisory remains in place for some of Wichita's wholesale customers, and those include Sedgwick County Rural Water Districts number 1, 2, and 3. It includes the cities of Benton, Rose Hill, Derby, Keachai, Valley Center, and McConnell Air Force Base. And I can tell you yesterday afternoon that city staff coordinated a meeting between our wholesale customers and the Kansas Department of Health and Environment officials, and each of those individual utilities have very effective plans in place to work directly with KDHE on getting each of their water supplies, each of their water services back online. And if any questions or information is needed, please understand that KDHE is the authority that is allowed to rescind the boil order, and so those questions or requests for information should go to each individual utility or to KDHE for those matters. As far as the pipeline itself that was at issue, work continues on that line. The main priority is to make sure that the soil around I-135 remains stable, and it is. We want to make sure that the work that's carried out is effective and lasting, and that we have no other issues at that area. We're taking the time to understand what actually caused the pipe to break at that location. And we've got experts on board to evaluate the soil, the materials of the pipe, and the other things that are involved there, so that we can put the effective repairs and mitigation measures in place to head off any potential problems in the future. We do not expect any service interruptions or further problems with water service as we continue to carry out this repair. The repair will be pressure tested to ensure effectiveness, and that line will be flushed and disinfected prior to being brought back online. Keeping our water customers safe and delivering a safe and effective supply of water remains to be the highest priority for Wichita utilities. To that we are dedicated, and we very much appreciate the patience and perseverance that the community and our partners have shown through this endeavor. With that, we're available for any questions that you might have.
And that's the City of Wichita giving us an update on the boil water advisory. As mentioned at the top of this hour, the boil water advisory is a partial lift for the City of Wichita. So if you are a consumer here in the City of Wichita, your bill is paid through the City of Wichita for your water, you should be okay with not having to boil your water. Some of our neighboring communities will have to continue to boil the water. I do have full information up on this story on cake.com if you want to see details there, and we will continue to provide updates from that briefing. We do have a reporter at the scene at City Hall to give us more information, and as he goes and asks some questions with those city leaders, we'll hopefully have a better update for you. If we had some people call our newsroom, for example, this morning, having questions about water pressure and things about what to do now. In fact, we're answering a bit more of what you should do now. So for some, boil water advisory lifted. You don't have to boil anymore. That's good news. But some people have asked why the process has taken so long. Well, that's because the pipe is in the ground. And then in the moment of that main break, the dirt and everything surrounding the pipe The concern was what could get inside. The KDHE says that more than 80 tests were conducted all over the city on Thursday. And now residents here in town, they're okay to use the water, but there is one thing you should do before consuming it again.
So once the boil water advisory is lifted, people that have automatic ice makers in their freezers, they should throw that ice out. And what I do in my own home is I run the cycle through a couple of times.
So run that cycle through if you can. Also, the city of Wichita, as we heard Mayor Brandon Whipple speaking at the top of this live briefing that we had, he is urging everybody, the city is urging everybody to run water for 10 to 15 minutes to ensure that all the potential harmful particles will be removed from your faucet. So go and run that water today, and you should be okay with consuming it without having to boil. Now, this rare citywide boil water advisory left a lot of residents in the county with water that might not be safe to drink. This has caused a big demand for clean water. I mean, we saw people clearing out store shelves, for example. But one Wichita brewery has stepped up to help yet again. Jeremy Horn, he is the owner of Wichita Brewing Company. And when this massive pipe burst on the north side of Wichita, it left a lot of people under this advisory. And he decided to step up to help, offering free water to anyone who needs it. He says he has 900 gallons of safe reverse osmosis water in this tank alone. And if the demand is there, he can use a couple of massive tanks to boil and then cool thousands of more gallons of water just in a matter of hours. Horn says that people came in all day Friday filling up bottles and to make sure they had clean water to drink. He hopes this need will be short-lived.
We know there are people in the community that needed water, and we had it, so there wasn't much analysis involved. Just let's figure out a way to get it to people that need it.
In April of last year, if you remember, when everything shut down with the pandemic, he also stepped up to help, putting his team at work producing hand sanitizer, each round cranking out about 1,500 of these half-gallon bottles. Pretty amazing to see that effort from the community. You can catch up with more stories like this, finding out everything on the latest of that advisory. Go ahead and download the Cake News app. That's where you all can find breaking news just as it happens. In fact, we sent out a push alert this morning from the app to alert everybody about what they need to know. And I know for some people at 8:11 right now, very eager to know a bit more about the forecast. So we have Jack Boston joining us. Jack, what should we know about today? It's certainly going to be a little warmer than usual for this time of year.
It's going to be a whole lot warmer than usual. Our normal high is about 74 in Wichita on October 9th. We're going to go way past that today. In fact, our record high is 92. We're going to beat that handily. 95 by 4 this afternoon. In fact, you're headed out at lunchtime. Should already be in the middle 80s. Right now in Wichita, well, we've got some sunshine out there at the boathouse along the Arkansas River. Traffic moving nicely on Kellogg. It is 68 degrees. Garden City coming in at 55. And a few more clouds around in Goodland with a temperature of 60 degrees. And around the state, temperatures generally ranging from the 50s in the west to the 60s in central Kansas. And again, headed for near to record highs in most areas, except for the northwest, only mid-80s in Colby and Goodland. Otherwise, mid to upper 90s. Boy, really feels like August, doesn't it?
Definitely does, Jack. All right, when will a COVID-19 vaccine be available for younger kids? Coming up, new information on a new application, what parents should know today. Also this morning, we take you to one community having some fun on the field. We'll show you that exciting moment that you may have missed that people, let's just say they couldn't help but cheer everything on. Your forecast is next. Good morning, Kansas. It is Adopt a Shelter Dog Month. And this month of October, we wanted to highlight some of the great groups in our community that are hoping to put pets with forever homes. This morning, I have Lauren and Bree with Beauties and Beasts to share more of this special dog that we have here. Can you tell me who do we have here this morning?
This is Bosco. He wound up in the shelter and had parvo. So he's a parvo survivor. He's in Beauty's care now. He's about 6 months old and he needs a forever home. Needs a forever home. So sweet and well behaved, I will say. My goodness. You're a good dog. And you have a lot of dogs in need right now over at the rescue. We do. We currently have over 140 dogs in care. Oh my gosh. All looking for forever homes. This week alone, we took in 6 parvo cases. So we're always in need of funds, always in need of volunteers, fosters, And right now we have $100 off any dog 1 year or older for Adopt a Shelter Dog Month.
And we have some pictures, like this next picture we have here shows some of those dogs up for adoption. I mean, ranging, in age, just seeing their faces here, it's like, oh gosh, but wonderful, different dogs and personalities that you all are helping.
Fraction of the dogs.
A fraction,
so,
obviously,
yeah.
100 something, it's amazing. But you say, so now is a good time for people if you want to take a look. So the adoption special information here for this month, and you said it's what, $100?
$100 off
That's
any
great.
dog 1 year or older.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think it's so nice to see what, you all do such good work of helping dogs in our community, saving them from, really what we call it the 11th hour rescue, what you all do. The needs there, but to make everything happen, you have to have so many different events to connect people with. So, I know even this weekend y'all are a little bit busy.
Yeah, so we are at the Women's Fair all weekend. So come out, we've got a big booth there. We've got puppies there, we've got dogs there. I think there's maybe gonna be some cats too. We can't forget about the cats. And so we'll be there all weekend, so you can meet lots of different dogs if you come and see us. We've got some merchandise available. You can talk to people about volunteering or adopting, anything.
Sure.
We've got tons of volunteers there that'll be there to talk to you. And then if you want another chance to meet some dogs, if you don't want to go to the Women's Fair, next weekend on October 16th, we will be at Hyde Park from 12 to 3 p.m. And we will have 3 different shifts of dogs. So you'll see, I think there's like 12 dogs each hour.
Oh, wow.
So you can come through and meet them, get to know them, see if there's one that might fit into your home.
Halloween is what you call it.
Yes, Halloween at Hyde Park.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
And then the big event, the Fur Ball, taking place on the 13th of next month.
Yes, so November
Oh
13th. We have that coming up again. We're excited. We're going to be at the Vale this year,
which
is the old hotel at Old Town Convention Center. So if people aren't familiar with it, that's what it is.
Yeah. If people want to go and be a part of that, what should they do? So
you can go to our website, beautiesandbeasts.org. And then there at the bottom, you can see that the ticket link is through GiveSmart. So beautiesforball.givesmart.com. And go on there and you can purchase your tickets, purchase a table if you want to. So you'll come out and we're going to have dinner and drinks again. And we've got auction items. We'll have a wine pull. We'll have some puppies, I'm sure, for everybody to cuddle. And it's just a really important event for us because it's how we raise most of our funds for the year.
Absolutely. Dogs like Bosco need forever homes, and we're hoping that you all can make that happen. So if you have a home and you're looking to adopt, maybe Beauties and Beasts is where you need to go to. Maybe you can help give Bosco a place to play. It would be so nice.
He would love that.
I think it would be so wonderful. You all have to keep us updated on Bosco and all the other dogs up for adoption. Again, Beauties and Beasts Rescue. If you go and check them out on Facebook, you'll see plenty there. These ladies working hard. So glad to have you here this morning.
Thank you,
Oh my
Annette.
goodness, absolutely. Again, Adopt a Shelter Dog Month taking place this month. We're highlighting different places across Cakeland doing some good and hopefully connecting these dogs with some forever homes. We'll be right back.
Now live from the Cake Studios, this is Good Morning Kansas.
Welcome on into Good Morning Kansas, 8:34 right now, and we start with breaking news. We're tracking a new story this hour here on GMK. We are learning that one person is dead after a fire in southeast Sedgwick County. Now, I just spoke with the 911 dispatcher in the past 10 minutes. He tells me that a fire took place in the 17,000 block of West 117th Street North. Taking a look at here of everything on the map, that is west of the cities of Sedgwick and of Bentley. So take it back, it's actually the northern part of the county. So we know that one person is dead after the fire. The dispatcher was not able to disclose if the fire had caused the person to die, if they had died as a result of the fire, or if they were dead before the fire. They are working to get more information for us, and we will provide updates as soon as we get them. We're also tracking breaking news this morning of a boil water advisory, a story that we've been looking at over the past several days. It has officially been lifted for the city of Wichita after a water main break this week. However, the boil water advisory, it remains in place for some surrounding communities. So this is what the Kansas Department of Health and Environment is telling us right now. So they have issued that advisory earlier this week. It's now lifted for the following cities: Wichita, Andover, Eastboro, and some people over in Mays. Basically the people in Mays who get water from Wichita. The city says that you should run your water for 10 to 15 minutes to help clear the system. That's what we heard in the latest briefing live this hour on Good Morning Kansas. And they also tell us that you'll want to clear your water from appliances. For example, if you have a dishwasher or refrigerator, have a water line that goes into them, you'll want to go and run those just to make sure that the water is cleared out and everything is okay. We want to make sure that everybody is fully prepared for that, so run those if you can. Now, the city giving us a perspective of everything, releasing this picture, an example of what that pipe as a result of the water main break does look like. 42 inches in diameter, very large. And if you look at the bottom here, you see a water bottle sitting there, just to give you a little bit of perspective. That was a part of Thursday's system-wide pressure loss. The city says the 42-inch pipe is one of the largest sizes of pipes in the distribution system for the city, but it does make up less than 1% of the total pipe network. Interesting to see, but now we know what it looks like. You, of course, can learn about developing stories like these. See more on that boil water advisory. If you want to see more details of what the city and the KDHE are telling us, you can check out this story up on cake.com. We have also shared it on Facebook as well as on Twitter. 8:37 right now. I know plenty of people heading out to different activities for the day. Jack, what can you tell us with that forecast?
And I suppose a lot of people would like to hit the local swimming pool. I think they're all closed, so too bad, because even though it's October 9th, it's going to feel like midsummer. 95 by 4 o'clock this afternoon in Wichita. It's already going to be 84. It'll be rather windy today as well. Here is a look at Exploration Place in the Keeper of the Plains. Oh, it's a beautiful morning out there. Just a few thin high clouds around. It's 68 degrees in Wichita. Garden City coming in. The clouds are breaking up now for you, 55. And in Goodland, it is 60 degrees at about 8 o'clock this morning. And we have some clouds in the sky as well. Temperatures around the state generally ranging from the upper 60s, pretty mild for early October in central Kansas, and temperatures in the upper 50s to around 60 out toward the Colorado border. It's going to get very windy today, especially in the southern and central part of the state, but it's also going to be very hot. Most of these temperatures better than 20 degrees above normal and also near to above record levels, just a little cooler in the northwest today. Annette.
All right, thank you, Jack. One other story I want to share with you, breaking from overnight. People left in the dark for hours after an accident over in western Kansas. Garden City Police sharing this picture with us of what was left from that accident scene. We first heard about it around 10:30 last night, and you see there the power poles leaning over, the lines being stretched as those emergency crews are on site. This happened at the intersection of Campus and Crestway Drives over on the east side of town. And as of 1:30 this morning, so 7 hours ago, city crews still working to restore power to people in the area. I did speak to a Finney County dispatcher earlier, and he said he did not have any official word on how the power was doing or any possible details of injuries involved to that crash. But we are working to get more information from police, and we'll share it with you right here on Cake. Why don't we go ahead and take a live look outside? Like I said, plenty of activities, and there's that sun shining out in Wichita today. So great to see. Exploration Place. What are you planning to explore today? We'll at least explore the forecast. Jack has full details for you after this break. Welcome back, Cake Land. 8:49 right now. Happy to have you on this Saturday. Hope you're doing okay. The latest now on the COVID-19 pandemic. There's another possible weapon in the fight against COVID, and this one is to protect children as Pfizer applies for FDA emergency use authorization of its 5 to 11-year-old vaccine. Kids in that age group would only get a third of the regular dose of the 2 shots, and this would take place 3 weeks apart. Pfizer says it's ready to ship pediatric doses immediately after both the FDA and CDC give a green light, which could happen in just weeks.
Protection in our pediatric populations is part of the key to finally putting an end to this pandemic. We have millions of kids that are still vulnerable, and because of that, we still have major risk in parts of this population.
Experts say more vaccinations will help keep people especially safe as we head into a busy travel season. Numbers appear to be heading in the right direction, though, with more Americans getting vaccinated, with daily COVID hospitalizations down a little more than 13% just this past week. But why don't we go ahead and break down the latest coronavirus numbers from the state of Kansas? Let's take a look at them together. It is reporting 2,200 new cases since Wednesday's report and 21 new deaths. 78 more people are being treated for COVID in hospitals. Right now, the state's positivity rate is just under 8%. Here's a live look outside as we all get heading out the door today. Jack has the latest with the forecast right here on GMK. That is next. And you know what? If you have a story you want us to investigate, anything to look into, you send us a note, okay? Email us at news@kake.com. Look at them go. You gotta love that. Some Friday night light action with the sound of the high school band in the background. Generations of cheerleaders taking to the field. Pom-poms, they were up at Wellington High School last night. Here we have the cheerleaders of the current team, years past, all joining together for a little bit of fun to the fight song. These ladies just really enjoyed coming into town. In fact, some people coming in from far. One lady I know, she flew in from California, Jack, of all places, to be a part of this. They have such love and dedication, what I love. So I'm from Wellington native. And the cheerleaders, some of them sharing online this week, were coming into town, sharing pictures of their pom-poms and their old uniforms. And I'm like, they held on to that. They love it. Yeah. And you could see that pride on the field. So that's pretty good. I love that. We love putting the good in your good morning, and nothing's better than Wellington, Kansas. They got the Fall Festival out this weekend, so some people might be out there. Different communities, kind of same deal, but today's going to be a little warm, so we need to be prepared, right?
That's what I call an understatement.
There we go.
My goodness, it's going to feel like August out there. In fact, there's going to be some temperatures that go into the record books today. 96 in Wichita should beat our old record of 92 set in 1963.
Wow.
Look at all those other records. Hutchinson, Salina, Dodge City, 98 today, and Garden City at 94. My goodness. Right now, here's Exploration Place. It's a very nice morning. About 71 degrees. Wind beginning to pick up out of the south. A few clouds around in Garden City with 55. And up in Goodland, still some cloud cover. There will be some sunshine. Don't worry. 62 is the temperature right now. Around the rest of the state, we got some 50s showing up out to the west. Otherwise, really warming up. South central Kansas, 71 in Wichita already, as mentioned. But there's those record highs for today. Mid to upper 90s, many of them record breakers. It's going to be windy, too. Little cold front coming into northwest Kansas, so mid to upper 80s, but that's still way above normal for Colby and Goodland. It's going to cool down tomorrow, though.
Oh, absolutely.
What a change.
Absolutely. Well, that cool down is certainly welcome, and I hope that you all enjoyed today out there. Warm or not, we appreciate your time. GMA is up next. We'll be back here at 10 o'clock.
For up-to-the-minute news and weather, stay connected to Kake News with Facebook, Twitter, and Kake.com. Kake News, on your side.